Our next guest is Lenka Pincot, President and Head of Agile Transformation of PMI Czech Republic. Lenka, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Hi, nice to see you. Dobrý den. Is that how you say it in Czech?
That's absolutely perfect. Dobrý den. Hello,
Yeah.
welcome, everyone.
Dobrý den. We will have with you this presentation about igniting the interest for sustainability. But before that, we are taking and having this research about logos and special symbols of PMI chapters around the world. And we would like to hear about your special symbol in your logo.
Yeah, so actually, the logo that you see in our chapter is kind of like a view on the horizon of Prague, of the Prague city. So you see there a cathedral of
Saint Vitus.
Sorry,
Saint Vitus. Yeah.
I always say it only in Czech language, Katedrála svatého Víta.
It's at the Prague Castle, right? It's at the Prague Castle.
Yeah, it's a cathedral in the area of Prague Castle. It's amazing, beautiful building. It's very interesting also from project management standpoint because it was built over centuries. The leaders of the building has changed. I mean, they died or things happen, and it was very, very long effort to build it. And if you have opportunity to visit, please do that because it's really beautiful, beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, it actually started 1344 from Charles IV and then continued throughout the years. That's what I know. That's very interesting. And that's the shape, actually, the shape of Prague. This is your special symbol. Very interesting.
Yes.
And let us tell us something about your title, Interest for Sustainability. That will be your presentation.
Yes, exactly. So I actually have some one slide included in the presentation to give you a proper introduction of myself, but just to open the topic, sustainability is very interesting. It's something that I would say that Czech Republic as a country is still exploring. We still need to raise awareness for the sustainability. There's a lot of myths surrounded by the topic that we also discovered by our event, that we understood that people sometimes do not understand exactly what is it about or what can they do for that. And that was one of the reasons why we included in our community topics, in our events. For me, sustainability is simply way of life. It's not a thing that you do on top of other things. It's really your mindset. It's what you care about, and because we all live in this one planet, and I can't give you any speech like Greta would do, but the thing is that we need to change our view, our habits. How do we look at sustainability? There are little things that any of us can do to support the movement, to support the change. We don't have to, build green power plants or whatever. We can do very little things. And I think it's important to start thinking about this topic more seriously.
Okay, great. And it's very interesting. You are, besides president, you are head of Agile Transformation. That's very interesting title. So do you need this knowledge about transformation, especially nowadays?
Yeah, I know that sometimes it's really raising questions because I am president of Czech chapter for Project Management Institute, and at the same time, I'm head of Agile Transformation. So actually, essentially, my job is to changing the profession of project managers and changing the way how do we do things in the company. I work in banking industry, so sometimes it's raising questions if these things are not contradictory. I would say no, because I think that we simply need to understand that what is changing, the workplace, our habits, the way how we do things, essentially, and this is very important to understand. So I see myself as the benefit for myself to be leader of our chapter is also to be open about these topics and help our community to understand what is this transition about and help them to go on this journey. And when I talk about journey and transformation, this is a very interesting topic also for the sustainability as such, because being more sustainable or understanding or putting in practice green management, that is not about one-time change. It's not about creating something and say, good, done, we did it. Sustainability and agility, this is really about transformation, and working with transformation is different than working with projects. You need to master skills such as influencing, networking, coalition buildings. You need to understand psychology a little bit, how to make the change when you cannot come to all people and tell them behave differently. You need to work with concepts such as identity for the change. You need to know how to raise awareness, how to ignite that interest so that people start talking about it. So these are skills which I believe are future key skills for leaders of change, for project managers, if they want to do transformation activities, which is in my eyes something a little bit different than doing more classical projects.
Perfect. The way I see it, I think your presentation will be very interesting. So, without further ado, Lenka, Pincot, let's hear your presentation.
Thank you. So let's go for it. What will you learn in this session? I will explain you later on the next slides. We did not bring the topic sustainability for the first time for our community. We tried in the past. We had some success, but we were not very happy with what we achieved. So we wanted to do more. And so on the approach that I will present you today, I will explain the importance, if you want to bring new topic, how it's important to bridge it with topics which are already resonating with your community, to create that bridge. I will also talk a little bit about power of networking. I think on this event, there are people from all over the world, which is amazing. I would be a little bit honest here. In my country, in Czech Republic, I believe networking is still a little bit underestimated. It's still a little bit misunderstood. People often confuse networking with trying to sell something, which I think is a really, really sad misconception, because in our chapter, we use networking a lot to bring interesting speakers and also to connect with thought leaders in that area. It's really helping us to be interesting and to have a beautiful turnout on our events. And then I hope that I will share some practical tips with you and help you to draft your own plan, action plan, how to bring sustainability topic for your community. So first, a little bit about myself, so that you know who are you dealing with. I drafted this beautiful journey of myself. So this is me roughly 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was studying computer sciences, and I was very interested in computers, and I was interested, how to basically build a software. So that was a topic that I looked around at that topic at that time. Then later, there was a more interesting question for me, and that was how can connect better business and IT. So that was the first 10 years of my career that I worked as a management consultant across various industries. I was in banking, automotive, manufacturing, a lot of industries. I was working mostly on European level. And for me, it was very interesting. How can you connect so that it works together? And then I was even more curious, because I was like, okay, now we understand on single company, but how can we leverage that? How can we bring it to international level? So that was something that I was looking at for the next 5 years, let's say, after that. So I was working as a leader on pan-European level. I was working on some very interesting innovations, Internet of Things, and getting value from big data. And then I was curious even more. And right now, what I'm doing is to think, how can we transform whole industries or companies? Because as I said, for me, what I learned during this career, there is a change, or there is a different approach when you want to make a change to create something new, like a product or, I don't know, change information system. But it's far more interesting for me how you can change behavior, how you can actually create new capabilities and put in practice a change which is sustainable, which lasts for a long time. And that's why I'm also interested in the topic of green management and sustainability, because these topics, what they have in common is change of mindset, change of people behavior. So currently, right now, I am, my job title is Leader of Agile Transformation in Raiffeisenbank Czech Republic. And for my volunteering activities, I am President of PMI Czech Republic chapter, and also a new activity which we started right now. We just established new international community of practice for the topic of digital transformation in cooperation with PMI France, Paris branch. So these are my volunteering activities which I'm doing right now. So now the topic itself. I have to say that I really enjoy working with my colleagues in PMI Czech Republic chapter. We are all very similar-minded. We do not overthink things. Recently, I got a question if I use agile principles also at leading the chapter. I would say yes. I would call our chapter, we are very agile. And the way how we look at project managers, we really truly see them as change leaders. And this is very important, because I know from talking with people that sometimes project managers, they see themselves as, you know, how to say, it's my job, you know, I get a task, this is the project, I have to deliver, there's not much I can do. If someone gives me, you know, wrong requirement or something, I'm not very happy about it, there's only very little I can do about it. And we see that differently. We believe that project managers can really truly be leaders, and they can be leaders of the change. The reason for that is quite simple. They can have very big influence in the company. They are essentially aware of any changes of strategy that company is doing. And the only point is to use their influencing skills to, you know, shift the change maybe a little bit further, a little bit more ambitious than the company leaders were thinking at the very beginning. And this is where I see a huge potential for project managers and their role which they can play in the topic of sustainability. So sustainability, or in project management, we call it more green project management. What is it about? Green project management is really about the mindset. It's about how do we do things so that we do it in more sustainable way. It can be as simple thing, for instance, that on your project you say, we don't use paper anymore. This is, you know, you don't print anything. You just work with your laptop. We have electronic whiteboards. We use this way of exchanging information. We don't print emails. We eliminate paper from our project management work. It's really as simple as small like that. It can be more ambitious on the other side, and that is that for some projects we can really have indicators of success of the project which are directly linked to some sustainability matrix. So for instance, if you work in transportation, can you do your project in a way that you reduce packaging? Or in manufacturing, can you do the project that you reduce the packaging, which is outcome of your project? So it can be something small, it can be bigger, but the point is that it's your mindset. It's the way how you do things. So I said that we tried to work with this topic before. So we introduced that topic already in 2012, but it was not bad, but there was not a big interest, let's say, for that. We didn't have a too big buzz about it. The thing was that we only attracted people who were already in the mindset, who were already interested. We were not able to scale it up. So we realized if we want to make it bigger, if we really stand behind the topic, we have to look at, you know, to do it differently. And now I'm so sorry. This is my son I'm really sorry for this. The schools are closed. We have some COVID situation here. So I'm really sorry for this interruption. I try to carry on. So what you see here is our team. These are our chapter board members who have really big passion for the topic of sustainability. And it's not only that I would really like to bring their pictures here because they deserve all the credit, but I would also like to make a point. In PMI, we work with volunteers. If we want to bring a new topic or any topic, let's say, it's very important. It's very important that you use the passion of your volunteers, which is already there, because, you know, it's very hard to do anything big if you don't have a strong team who already believes in the topic. So in our case, we already had these volunteers, and we just need to make them more space, a platform, so that they can use the passion and transfer this passion to our community. So we have Vlastimil Poláček, we have Jarka, and we have Martin, who is running, apart from his PMI volunteering, he's running his own sustainable activities on top of, you know, the PMI volunteering. And here I would also make a small point about agility. In our chapter, I have to say we do not overthink things. You know, if you see that your volunteers are passionate about something, it can be sustainability, it can be diversity, inclusion, whatever is that, just give them the space and let them do that. Because I think this is what PMI is also about. It's amazing communication platform. We have amazing communities, we have amazing brand, and we can use it for good things. So the way how we do our events, of course, we prepare them. But you know, like typically the time that we need to prepare event in our case is not more than a month, because we just do not overthink it. It's interesting, let's just go for it, and we will see. People like it, or we did some mistake, we learn from that, we carry on, and we go further. Right. So I was talking that we realized that to get more interest and to really, really motivate people to talk about sustainability, we need to change our approach. So what did we do? And this is the thing where I would say that COVID actually helped us. I know that there's not many good things about COVID, no doubt about it. But in this case, as we had to go digital with everything that we do, and we stay 100% digital since how long is that? 1.5 years now. It also helped us to improve some of our processes and the way how we engage people. So first of all, when we go online with our events, we change the registration form for the events. And this sounds like a little thing, right? But what we do, that we ask our people, the community, to tell us what are they interested in and what questions do they have. And this for us was a game changer, because it gave us opportunity to much better understand our audience. And we saw that sustainability is definitely their topic. So then we said, all right, let's do event about it. For the event, especially when you're introducing a new topic for the first time, you have, you know, like one shot to make it interesting. And for that, you need to have good speakers. It's better if you start on the ground when the interest is already there. So to put our first event together, we were looking at our network to see who is interesting in our network, who we trust and know that he can speak in a very interesting way about sustainability. But also, are there any other non-profit organizations that we can partner with them, and then use our platforms as a basis for the event and to reach the audience? So we did that, and then we saw that the event caused a lot of questions, a lot of interest, a lot of follow-up, and so then our volunteering team, the guys that you see on the previous slide, right now what they are working on, they are scaling that up. So they are partnering with more organizations, and they are preparing big event for the beginning of 2022. And the big event in next year is basically about attracting project managers who did some work in green project management or sustainability. And we are planning to issue awards for the best sustainable project of year 2021. So what is our recipe to run these events? How do we do that? And how is it helping? So the first step when we're preparing a new topic, and of course for sustainability, that's the same approach we had. We use our professional network to spot the right speakers. And we actually spend a lot of time with speakers prior to the event. We are not a very good chapter. We don't accept commercial speakers, and we don't accept speakers who just, you know, say like, hey, I want to use your platform, I want to speak on your forum. So we are like, yeah, okay, interesting, but you know, what are you bringing to us? How you can support our mission, our purpose? So we prefer to use people from the network with that we either saw them somewhere, we understand the message that they're saying, because we want to make it right. But we also run some individual sessions with these speakers to introduce them what is our vision, how we can, you know, put it all together. What are we doing and what they're doing, and how does it match? How does it fit? And I think this type of preparation is very, very important. Then, and this is the online trick, once we start promoting the event, which is roughly 1 month before the event takes place, we ask people who are interested in the event to put a question in the registration form. I have to say we have great engagement there, because typically around 60-70% they ask the question. And that is very very important, because when they ask the question in the form prior to the event, we see what is in their heads. What are they curious about? Do they have any doubts? What they would like to hear. It's not only helping us to shape the content of the event, but I think that's an very easy way how to increase the value added of any event that you do. The reason is that of course people are much more happy when they come to event and they actually hear answers to their questions. So then we take these inputs and we communicate back to our speakers, and we ask them to adjust the content so that they are addressing the concerns or questions or whatever that is coming from the audience. And then is the event itself. So of course it has to be interactive. We always include some slots for discussions. We do breakout rooms, but we do not overdo it. I have to say, we make it interactive, and we build a community. So I have to say, we are having very nice ambience on our events. People start to know each other. They recognize the names. We are very how to say, like friends. We have very friendly hosting of these events. We really try to connect with the people on as much as possible on these events, and we don't use that many technical tools. We just use a very basic Slido and questions in the chat, but we just try to make it feel like, okay, this is your place, this is your community, you can say whatever you want. And then, still not done, after the event is let's say performed, executed, we do follow up, because we know that some people miss the event, but even if they don't miss it, when they are listening, it's hard for them to pick up the key points. Even if we include the key points in the presentation, still, if the topic is new, it's a little bit overwhelming. So what do? That we always pick up the key points from the event and put it on our social media. And we have a lot of positive feedback, because people say we love it. We love it because it's a beautiful summary of the event. So then we try to support the engagement also after the event. So these are all the tricks that we do to make events engaging and to introduce topics which are interesting for the community. Now, how did we approach the topic of sustainability itself? We had 4 speakers on our first event, and I said at the beginning that I will explain the importance to bridge new topic with something which your community is already familiar with. This bridging is important, because then they can see that as a transition, or doing a little bit more from what they already do. And it's a little bit different psychologically than if you present something which is like brand new, because it may look too far away. I don't know how to get there. Like I like it, but I don't know how to get there. So our first speaker, it was not a coincidence that he was really from business, because we know that, of course, for the project management profession, what is very important are business results and support of the company strategy. So our first speaker, Anders, he's from Sweden. He's a bank executive, and he was talking about the importance of ESG strategic decision making. And he basically explained us that either you're in the game, or you can also be out of the business. So he was addressing the topic that sustainability is really not something that you do on top, something that, okay, if I have time, I can also focus on that. No, sometimes it's really a matter of business survival. Then we continued like, okay, so now we understand the topic is important, but what should we do about it? Like, how can we contribute? What can we do, like, in our daily jobs? And for that, we had a speaker who is head of procurement in one of the worldwide brewery production and transportation. And he was explaining us how exactly, specifically, they put points of sustainability in their project management. So, for instance, how do they incorporate some sustainable indicators, performance indicators in their decision making when it comes to investing in projects? How do they have these metrics in individual projects? So, for instance, when they do some projects in transportation area, one of the KPIs for the project is the cost for packaging. You know, can I do something which I reuse? How do I decrease the impact on environment? So that was very specific, that was very hands-on. And I have to say this is what people usually like, because they understand that there is a strategy, a big thing, but then the question always is, yeah, okay, but what can I do by myself? Then our next speaker was Jitka Šmídová. She's a thought leader and transformation leader, a lot of experience in HR, and she was guiding us through her journey, how to transform a company, because we said that sustainability is not about one-time change. It's not just like putting, I don't know, bins to sort your waste. It's not about that. It's really about transformation, changing the way how you think and how you do things. So Jitka was leading us through the transformation experience of a company, starting from the top management to very specific actions. And then the last speaker was Michal Broža. He's head of United Nations office in Prague, and he gave us a different perspective, a perspective of the global development, the impact on Earth, you know, these sometimes a little bit scary video things really create the urgency that the change, the way how we think and the importance of the sustainability is definitely not nice to have. It's something that we really have to take seriously, and it's already here. You know, it's already here, and we have to act. So he created that urgency to act. So that was our first event. All these people that you see here, these are people, the speakers who come from the network of PMI Czech Republic board members. So we knew them, you know, not necessarily like they are not our friends, but we know what they do. We know their, you know, their standpoint on different things. We know that they can deliver, and so we put them together. And through the questions from the audience, we formed the event. This is how it looked like. What you see here, this is some screenshots from our social media posts. So first was just like really just like opening, okay guys, we bringing some new topic, then we introduce the speakers, and then the last post which you see here, this is about post-event takeaways. So basically summarizing what did we learn on the event, what was the most important, and we do not prepare that upfront. I think that would we really do it live during the event. It's typically me personally scribbling the notes, because we really listen to people on that event. We listen what they are interested in. We listen to their questions. So it's not like prefabricated upfront, but we really want to put together takeaways that resonate with the community, and they answer the questions from people who attended the event. This is overview of the agenda. How did we go through the event? So we started, as I said, in business, where we bridge the topic of that project managers have typically on mind, and that is profitability, business success. So we bridge this topic to sustainability. Then we stressed out the importance of the transformation. That company must have vision towards sustainability. It has to be part of the company strategy, and then we also put it together with the goals of United Nations. There were some very interesting points definitely made by the head of United Nations office, who said, and I quote here, "Everybody knows that we have to do something about it, but nobody wants to really understand the scale of the transformation that we have to go through." And me personally, I really like that statement, because I think that's saying a lot about the topic. Sometimes I think that we really see a topic of sustainability like, okay, so let's sort out waste. Okay, this is what we can do, or we don't print paper anymore. But the transformation that the whole society has to go through is much, much bigger. And it will not happen until we start with changing our mindset step by step. And we need to trust ourselves. We need to trust us as people. With the right mindset, we can do really, really big things. But we cannot do the big things if they are not on our agenda and if they are not part of our daily thinking. And that was the point that we tried to bring on that event. So this I included few slides. So of course I cannot speak for Anders, but these are the slides that he included. This is a part of the company slides for the bank that he works for. If you would be interested in more like banking view on the sustainability topic and how these players are influencing the understanding of sustainability and why is it so important for business, please reach out to me. I can try to connect you with Anders. I have to say that, of course, Anders is from Sweden. That's a country which is very progressed on sustainability. It's really part of their mindset, a part of the way of thinking. We, as Czech Republic, we really look up for them, and so that was a great inspiration for us. How can you really make sustainability as a topic of strategic importance? So that was very interesting part of the presentation. And now I will present you the takeaways from the event. So first takeaway that we got from that there are myths today, there are misunderstandings, some misconceptions about what is sustainability. And one of the misconceptions that we understood is that sustainability is expensive. And this is and that sustainable and profitable are the opposites. So we used the presentation from the brewery, where Mr. Wright on very specific examples showcased and demonstrated that this myth is definitely not true. On the contrary, if you do things in a sustainable way, you can deliver them much cheaper because, for instance, you reuse or you reduce the packaging, you reduce the cost. This is a very important point, and I'm coming back to the importance of bridging because, as I said, project managers, they operate, cost, benefit, I need to be able to compare. So it's hard to push things where we would say that cost and benefit do not align together. They go in the contrary directions. So when we showcased and we really demonstrated that sustainability and profitability actually go hand in hand, this was a game changer for them. A lot of them did not realize that, and it definitely opened their eyes and opened their mindset, and they said, okay, so then it's definitely worth considering because we cannot do things that would not be profitable. And then here comes the trick. When I was showing the way how do we events, we knew that people have this misconception from the questions we received prior to the event. So then we can tell our speaker, focus on the point and explain so that we don't miss that opportunity to bust this mess. Another takeaway which we had here was that there must be commitment to sustainability from strategic level. I know that this is hard. This is hard because some project managers, they have position in the company where they can directly influence executive level of the company, but some of the project managers, they don't. And here, as I was saying at the very beginning of the presentation, I really see that there is important to develop skills of project managers such as networking, influencing, speaking, working with identity of the change, because if they want to get interest from the executive level and influence decision making on that point, they must be able to build these coalitions, they must be able to network, they must be able to pass the message. I think this is like a set of soft skills for project managers, which historically may not be considered as a traditional, like a skill set, but I know, and this is where I'm very happy to be with PMI, we put more and more importance on development of these skills because it's part of the change, it's part of the change leadership. And that's also the reason why PMI Czech Republic chapter is active in this topic, because from our position, we can start influencing we can start influencing business leaders, and we can bring more awareness to the topic and help our project managers to either teach them these influencing skills and give them the right arguments so that they really can step also on the executive level of the company. What was another important point here is that as we don't have traditionally in our country the position to be seen as a sustainable leader. For this point, we also connected with other non-profits to help people network across these, let's say, causes that they have, and again learn from the others who are more active on sustainability field to learn and understand how do they do their influencing and raising awareness for the topic. And then the last takeaway, which we shared, were the practical tips, because project managers, they need hands-on recommendations. It's like, okay, this is all nice, but then what do you want me to do tomorrow? You know, so it's also important that on these events, we must end up with something very practical, very hands-on, really like, what can I do? So that was the last takeaway that we had, because, you know, if you provide people with very specific steps that they can do, you help them to manage the change, because the change is not like, it's like that far away, our management doesn't know anything about it, I don't know what to do, but you give them some tips, some practical things that they can do every day, and you help them to make the change smaller, executable, because even little things such as, okay, eliminating paper on our project is achievable, they can do that, and they already getting into their mindset, I'm already being sustainable, I'm already helping, I'm already, you know, in the zone, in the topic. So what is happening now? So we had that event, it's already some time when it happened. We understood from the feedback, because we also collect feedback after the events, that people definitely are very interested in that. There were some things during the event which raised a lot of good questions, a lot of engagement, especially how do you transform the company, or how you specifically measure sustainable effect of projects. And so that inspired our team to team up with IPMA. That's another leading project management nonprofit in our market. We always team up with Czech and Slovakia, and currently we are preparing event where we gather inputs from project managers, and we are trying to announce the winner for year 2021 about the best sustainable project. For the communication, we use direct mailing, we use social media. We have a small volunteering team from these non-profit organizations who meet regularly and who are preparing this big event. So right now, we already passed, like yesterday, the deadline for submitting the project. So now the team will focus on evaluating the project. And again, I believe this will be a great success. It will bring another learning, another making it a real topic. It's not like something, on the horizon, but something that already exists here, and we can all learn from our local experience. I have few last points. I'm going to the end to my speech. I hope you enjoy it. And there is one last thing that I would like to say, and that is with especially when you bring new topics, it's good to know what is the level of awareness and what is the level of maturity in the audience when you are bringing the topic, because it helps you to adjust the message. It helps you to understand if you need to start more on like explaining the basics, or if it's better to be more advanced, because if you start with basics and you have already mature audience, then you can again completely lose the attention, because they say we already know that. So as an example, this is one of the social posts that my company is putting, because Raiffeisen Bank is also very active in the topic of sustainability and having positive impact on the environment. And so I really love this chart, because it's a little overview how different countries in our region in Europe have already their knowledge about the sustainability topic, what is their attitude, and what is the level of actions that they do. So, I'm a little bit sad that Czech Republic is not that progressed. On the other hand, we are very glad that we have this data available, because it helps us to tailor our events. So if we know that we're starting at the beginning, we have to adjust the message. It cannot be too advanced, because we miss the basics. So if you have any data available, any methods how to know your audience, especially when you're introducing new topic, go for it, because the more preparation you put into that, the more understanding you get, then you have better chance to success, because then you can really resonate your messages, your content can really resonate with your audience. You can, it like kind of like clicks in, and then you have much better results after that. So just to summarize that, because I promised you action plan, right? So if you want to start a sustainability green project management, understand the interests of your community first. We are using for that these online forums. And we also pay attention what people ask during the events itself. You know, we are a very small team, but during the events, we make a lot of notes. You know, we just don't let it flow, but we make a lot of notes. We really pay attention what are people talking about, because you see that when someone asks a question because he's interested, or someone's asked a question because they doubt it. It's like, are you sure you can really do that? Can I really contribute to project management? So from the tone you see, people are not sure that there are actions that they can go straight away. Okay, so we need to focus on that more. So understand the interests of your community. Find the topics where you can bridge what they are interested in and connect them with a new topic. Then second very important point here is that you need to have volunteers in your team who have already the passion about that topics, because this will help you a great deal. They will stand behind it. They will transfer their passion, which they already have inside them, for your events and for influencing of your community. So sometimes you already have volunteers with this passion inside your team. Sometimes you need to find them first. Not only that, probably they will have a great network of speakers, or they will simply understand the topic in depth, but it's all about that passion. Because if you want to make someone passionate about the topic, you need to have that passion inside you first. I hope you're listening to me, but you would probably not be listening to me if you're not like this and talking sustainability, right? Okay. If you don't see the passion from me, how can I expect you to be passionate, right? So the passion is really the key. And here I really see a big role of PMI and big opportunity for us as leaders of the chapters, that we can, empower our volunteers and help them to use PMI as platform for these objectives or passions which they already have. Like that was exactly our case. Another point here, network. Keep your eyes open, look around, see what are the messages that thought leaders in your area or even across to Europe are publishing. If you like it, connect with them and then use them for your events. If there are people who are already thought leaders on the event, there is a very high probability that they will also help you with raising awareness or bringing some events in action, because it is their passion, it is their interest, and they will simply do that. We don't pay our speakers. I mean, we can, but we don't do that, because we prefer speakers who really have passion for the topic, because again, it's seen. You see that on that event who's really in the topic and who really wants to make a difference. But for that, you, as the leaders of the chapters, you need to be good networkers at first. They need to trust you. They need to trust that if they invest in time for your event, that there will really be some impact out of it. Bridging, I talked about that a lot. For us, the bridge was profitability and sustainability. I believe that was the game changer here. And then the last thing, once you have all the topics, you have all the speakers, you have everything, then you have to deliver, and that is make your events inspiring, engaging. There's no need to overthinking it. There's no need to flood people with too many tools, too many gadgets, too many stuff like that. They are interested in real messages. They are interested in experience of other people. They want to see real examples, and they want to know, okay, I like it. What can I do by myself? So that's it from my side. If you're interested in the topic, if you're interested in the work of our chapter, how do we do things, feel free to connect. This is a little bit older picture. Don't get confused by my hair. I let it cut, but it's still me. So you can scan the code, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm very responsive, so send me a message and then we can talk about it. So thanks a lot for your attention, and now it's time for questions if you have any.
Yes, thank you, Lenka, for your mindful presentation. And there is a theory that says that sustainability is meeting the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. So here is another one of these bridges that you're speaking about, bridges between past and future generations. Do you have in your experience, like have you had to build such bridge between past generation and future generation?
Yeah, I totally agree with this. I think this is a great point. However, and again, I would speak just for our chapter. I'm not sure that this bridge would work in our case. I will explain why. Because we know demographics of our chapter, and again, it's a specific for Czech Republic. We don't have that many representatives of young generation in our chapter. I mean, we have them, but the majority are people, more like 30, 40s, people on the roles when they execute changes. So for us, we actually assume from that. We also see from which industries are they coming. They mostly coming like from IT, from banking, from telco. So then we know that profitability is really something which resonates with them. On the other hand, I have also kids. I have 3 kids. My 2 younger kids, they go to they attend very alternative preschool facility. And this is the connection between generations and past and future. Because the thing is that, for instance, they have bees, they have rabbits, they have their little garden, they plant little seeds, they learn about sustainability and packaging from very early age. And when I attend networking event with parents of kids who come to this school, you see exactly that connection, because we care about sustainability, because we do it for our kids. This is the generation bridge. And in this environment, this bridge absolutely resonates, because what kind of parent would think like, okay, I will burn everything here and then my kids, let them deal with it. You don't think this way, So we support school activities, we support education of our kids, and we bridge by generations. But honestly, I'm not sure that that bridge would work for our community of project managers that we have specifically in our country. It can be very different in different countries. I don't know, but that's why it's very important to know who is your audience, where they are coming from, and which topics are important for them today, so that you can create that bridge.
Okay, yes. We have some more questions from the platform.
Okay.
Which, according to you, is most important domain of sustainability? Environment, economy, or social?
Environment, economic, and social. Well, do I have to choose one? I think they kind of like more influence and implement. Complement each other. I think it's hard to break that. That cycle. For instance, I talked about the myth that sustainable is not profitable, it's maybe more expensive. So it's important, where is this coming from? And again, I'm not an expert in this area, but I may assume that, for instance, in my country, there was, when we had some products which were coming from ecological agriculture, they were much more expensive than other products. So then we got the mindset that if it's something ecological, sustainable, it's more expensive. But the reason why was that our economy, our agriculture worked in that way that it was really more expensive. However, if you do things differently, you can make them cheaper. So to do things differently, you first must have the mindset, the passion, the motivation to even think about it. How I can source locally. How I can do things in a way that they are cheaper. I do it locally. I do it like a smaller scale. I just simply have like a different way of, I don't know, growing plants or whatever. And that is the environment, and also the social. The society you must live in a place where this is even possible. And then you change the economy. So for me, it's really more like a circle of influencing things. You just pick up your point where you start. You typically start at the point where you already have some influence, but then you're impacting the other elements of the whole system in which we live in anyway.
Yeah, that's actually what sustainability is, to combine all of the 3 domains. And one more question, we'll have time for one more question. What is the general stakeholder perception, and which topics reveal concerns over threats to the sustainability?
Yeah, I think that real stakeholders. So I guess that when we talk about stakeholders, we talk about company leaders, right? I assume that that's the point. Here we have to get back to understanding of transformation. So the thing is that when we operate in business environment, there is of course a big pressure on business results, on profit, on costs, on margin, and all of that. The reason for that is very simple, because without money, we cannot run companies. There must be some profit, right? So it's understandable. And then what happens is that people kind of like put different topics in different boxes. Like they say, okay, here now I care about profit. That's like one box. Now I care about, I don't know, diversity, inclusion. That's another box. Now I care about sustainability. That's another box. And they feel that they have to prioritize. You know, do I put more there? Do I put more there? I think this is the biggest danger, this way of thinking. When we think about transforming, building new capabilities, being a different company, being a different person, I mean, you cannot put these topics in separate boxes. You first need to kind of like understand, connect the dots, that they are not separated. Like you said before, economy, social, environment, these are not separated topics. They are not. They are very closely connected. If you want to influence one, we have to influence the other. We cannot just take care about one. And I think this is the point which we still miss, which we still need to work on to explain this properly. That taking care about environment or being sustainable is not something on the top of my agenda. It has to be part of my agenda, because I cannot separate these things one from each other.
Yes. Yes, thank you. So very interesting, really mindful presentation from Lenka Pincot, the president of PMI Czech Republic chapter. Thank you once again, Lenka. And
You're welcome.
to all the others, I will remind you that you have still more 3 days to have your questions from Lenka, and you can enjoy the rest, including Lenka. You can enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Lenka Pincot, President and Head of Agile Transformation from PMI Czech Republic chapter. So stay tuned. We will continue in a while with the topic about chapter exchange project. See you in a while.